time for a fresh chain. So today we have a pretty nice spot to hit. I tell you what, I wish we'd started cutting over here to begin with. Spot's a lot better to deal with. Definitely not nearly as many hangers and things like that. Which I know some of you who do this for a living have never hung a tree up in your life. I'm sure I'll hear that. But there we go. But it's going really well in here. I'm highly enjoying cutting in this spot. It's much safer, especially not being somebody who does this every day. Now, there is one person nearby who knows where I'm at, but they're about, I don't know, 5-6 miles away. So, and phones don't work up here. Fortunately, said person is checking here and there. Pops in every once in a little bit just to make sure that nothing's happened. But I'm intentionally going after trees that are anywhere from 10 to 16 inch range, just because, I mean, they're pretty much pecker poles, or they drop easy. Even if they hang up, I mean, we can get them out fairly safely, and so that's a big deal. So mostly what we're going to be into today is going to be balsam. There's a lot of that on this end, but like I said, it's good stud material. All right for floor joists. Just cut them a little thicker, a little more support in between spans. It's not a weak wood by any means, but the spruce, we're going to do the main timbers for the timber frame out of spruce this time, which has its own set of challenges. But if you dry the timbers, or if you work with the timbers right, you can get some pretty good results. It's definitely important to really make sure you're cutting good quality trees from the middle of a stand for the timbers for what we're doing. And we've talked about that at length before over the years on the channel. You know, trees that grow in clumps and are kind of sheltered from the wind, generally going to be a little bit stronger, be a little more stable. All right, let's show you where today's carnage is going to take place. So this is day 2 of our weekend up here. Man, I wish I could be up here all week doing this. So a couple things I'm looking for. I guess we'll discuss that before we really get into it here. A few things I'm looking for when I'm cutting these trees is, can I get my wheeler in that log arch up in here? Now the camera probably doesn't do this too much justice, but I've got a perfect spot right here. It's up a little embankment, but it's much nicer than where we've been trying to hole them up. I got plenty of room to the sides. I'll cut all this stuff out of here just to get a clear path so we're not popping tires on little stumps. But so I like these patches where I get the same types of trees in. I talked about that in the last video. But in here mostly we're going to be cutting balsam. So I've got a good selection of trees here going. I'll show you the perfect tree I'm looking for. Be this guy right here. That's a nice size. It's not too big to deal with. Give you an idea. It's not huge, but it's pretty consistent most of the way up. And you notice how little those branches are. That means the knots are going to be tiny. Now we have some spruce in here also, so I'll show you the difference. So this would be balsam fir, and that guy right there, those little sap blisters, that's the big telltale. These little sap blisters, they actually have some good medicinal effects. So look that up, there's some good stuff. If you get here to spruce, the bark's a lot scalier. This is our native white spruce up here. I'm not really getting in any white pine, which is disappointing, but it's not too bad. We'll probably take this tree also, and we're not going to get the best lumber out of it. You see where that bark's splitting up the side? That tree will probably end up dying at some point, so we'll get that out of here also. I'll probably be as far this way as we go with cutting, but if we get over here, another halfway decent spruce right there. Now, that'd work awesome if we were building a log cabin. Sorry, hard to walk through here and run the camera at once. We got a really good balsam right here. Now you've got some woodpecker holes and stuff on the bottom, but that tree a little bit farther up from that should be all right. So we'll see. And behind it, there's another one we can take. Now I'm not into taking really small trees, but they are good to get some 2x4s out of, and they're easy to handle, the logs. It's actually easiest on the mill with bigger trees. Like 16 inches about our sweet spot. So this right here is kind of would be the biggest that we're looking for. That's probably 20 inch on the bottom. And again, it's pretty consistent. Now we're going to get some bigger knots out of this because the branches are bigger. But that might get milled up for shiplap boards, stuff like that, because this entire addition we're doing with lumber. There's another one over here. So there's a couple more. So anyway, I guess I could quit talking about it and start cutting. Now we're going to start with this one spruce we were just talking about that may not be totally useful, but I'm going to get it out of here. So when I'm trying to lay out cutting a stand that I have to skid logs from, I kind of like to get the large end of the logs, the butt end, facing out towards where I want to skid from. And it's not always possible, but when I'm dropping these and trying to lay them out, what's the best possible way for me to get them out of here? Now, these little sucker branches can be a pain in the ass and hitting you in the face and everything else. Now, this tree's got a little bit of a lean. It's kind of going that way just a little bit. And it's got but it kind of bananas. Now, I don't like those, especially on smaller ones, because it's a lot harder to wedge them. For me, anyway. Alright. I think we're going to try to send her off that way, squeeze in between a couple of these trees. Like I said, these aren't super top heavy. There.